a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house. You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the South Asia Elite Community Series for Rainbow Six Siege X here at Frag Nation in partnership with Ubisoft. I'm your host, Blackjack, back once again with the FPS Deficiency, along with my two co-hosts, Bullet and Madness, as we are back once again for another lower bracket showdown between KUIS Esports and Deadeye Esports. Boys, how are we doing tonight? And more importantly, Bullet, since you are our analyst for this segment, take us through what we can expect in this matchup.
Yeah, I was just taking a look through at the the map picks, looking at on how things are going to get unfolded. So I was talking about the first entire map for between these QEs facing the side of Deadeye. First of all, don't get me wrong, I was very surprised to find Deadeye Esports on the lower bracket playoffs compared to what I have seen from them in the previous qualifiers and the community cups as well. Now coming to the discussion of the map picks, I know we'll see the creators and all, and I like to get ahead of everything, but yeah, the first ban is going to be the side of border and layer. Now these two maps have been kind of like played a lot, especially from the side of QEs. From what we have seen in the previous community cups and the previous qualifier, border is a big one coming along to get banned from the side of Deadeye for against the side of QEs. The first map pick is going to be the Chalet, where QEs is gonna be on the attacking side, and of course Deadeye will be on the defensive. The second one is going to be, of course, the side of Clubhouse, and the decider is going to be on the map of Night Haven Labs. So telling on the fact that Clubhouse and Chalet have been played a lot compared to what we have seen in some other maps. So I'm hoping to see this map again going to be on a decider play, to be frankly speaking, Blackjack and Madness.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then looking at the prize pool over here, 1 lakh INR for the person coming in first place. A lot of money riding on the line, especially for event of R6 happening in the region. And people, even the first people who got knocked out yesterday, MG unfortunately still will be going home with money. There's money secured for everybody who's participating in the playoffs, but everybody will be vying for the first for that lion share of the prize pool of 3 lakh INR in this community blackjack. And then because of the tournament format blackjack, I think there are other things on the line
Oh,
as well.
yes. Oh, absolutely. There's other things on the line. So, of course, folks, we've seen qualifiers 1, we've seen qualifiers 2, and of course, we had the chance to cast over the semifinals and finals of those. And now we are in the playoffs where top 4 teams from both of those qualifiers have made it to this playoffs double elimination bracket. And of course, we're in the first week of playoffs and the first weekend of playoffs, right? But what does it really mean? Aside from the prize pool, that was discussed earlier, it also means the top 2 teams, that is the winner and the runner-up, will get a chance to be in the Asia Cup qualifier, the APAC Cup Asia qualifier, That is massive because it means 2 teams from our region are going to be facing off against teams from other Asiatic regions, right, in the wider APAC zone. And from there, who knows what the future might hold. But with that said, let's zoom back a little bit, getting a little bit too big for our britches right now because we are in the lower brackets. KUIS Esports versus Deadeye. And of course, KUIS unfortunately losing out 0-2 against Blitzkrieg. And on the other side, Deadeye, that was a tough match and a half as they lost 0-2 against Uwu. Now they're on their last legs right here as they need to win tonight. Otherwise, they will be eliminated. Well, one of them will end up eliminated nonetheless, and the winner will go on to face the loser between Blitzkrieg and Uwu. That's how double elimination bracket works, folks. And I'll tell you what, these matches, they are going to be quite interesting, aren't they, Bullet?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the lower bracket, don't get me wrong, the lower bracket matches are going to be quite interesting compared to the upper bracket, to be frankly speaking. But for now, folks, as we all know, KUIS facing at the side of Deadeye. We can say for a moment that most of the majority, everybody, to be frankly speaking, as we have the confirmation now on my left screen, KUIS, everybody from side KUIS are from Maldives. So it's more of like a Maldives region-based team going up against an Indian region team. And 2 of these are like the biggest powerhouses coming on from the origin. Of course, South Asia is a region on its own, but coming on from their side, if we talk about Q specifically, we had a chance to, I guess, have an interview session, I guess, from the side of Wildly, or it was Starpy. They did say for a fact that some of these players have been playing competitive in the region for a while now. Yes, some of these players were on a break, especially talking about the side of Insanity, Sony, and Starpy. But talking about, again, the side of Deadeye Esports, it comes down to that really competitive edge in terms of playing this game for a really time now, especially in the scenario of playing this game competitive. I'm not talking about casual folks. I'm not talking about the rank and unranked, or maybe you want to call it standard in the year 8 or the year 9 definition. But some of these players have been playing this game for a really long time, and that's why I said Deadeye Esports in the lower bracket playoffs is something which caught me by a surprise. But I will give it to you folks. Madness and Blackjack, take it away.
Here we go. Thank you so much for that, Bullet. And of course, he gets to rest his voice until the end of map number 1, folks. We are here right now as KUIS and Deadeye are taking each other on the map of Chalet to start us off with the bands coming in. The first set of which are going to be Azami and Ram, interestingly enough. Ram on Chalet, I actually do Ram on Chalet, I do actually understand more than certain other bands because there is so much verticality that she can establish so very quickly. And she is just a dangerous operator, especially when you're holding down first floor or bottom floor. And even on second floor, there's areas where she can make very quick entry on. On the other side, you've got the Clash and the Grim to be banned for the second set. And Grim, again, we've seen just how oppressive he can be. Clash is more of a generalist ban, but then again, you really don't want to give someone like Ninja Freak the chance to play the Clash in the first place. Although, Deadeye Esports are on the defense, so it's more that they've decided, you know what, they're the ones who decided to ban Grim, right? So there's still going to be a good throwing presence for them. With that said, second floor, side of choice, we've got an IQ, we've got a Fenrir coming in from Kratos. So already we've got a massive pick right there. A Rooney along with the mute, so intel and information denial, along with some gadget denial coming in as well. Frost for the traps and Jaeger for util denial just outright. It's a good defensive lineup to start us off with, don't you think, Madness?
Absolutely, it seems good. And we even see an IQ maybe coming out. Sunny's thinking about switching it out later on into this prep phase, and it looks like it will honestly come through. And yeah, it does get locked in. You're gonna at least identify some of these tricky F9s that are hard to deal with. Otherwise, you have the gridlock for the backstep instead of bringing in the Nomad. But you have the Nomad as well, so you have double backstep. I heard the air jump. I was like, wait, what? You have double backstep going for you. So you're focusing a lot on the flanks gonna come, because that is to be noted. D3 is the type of team that does like to move around a lot. Ninja Freak does like to make a lot of plays, a lot of clutches towards the ends of rounds. So you have to mind out for, you know, tricky flanks at any opportunity. For now, KUIS Esports taking it on the slower route over here, Blackjack.
Swapping mags.
Yeah, it's KUIS is just gonna have to like start off trying to understand what it is that D3 are trying to do, what it is that they need to adapt to. And meanwhile, some shots might have been fired right there, as Cozy and Rux have taken a tiny bit of damage, not a whole lot. But as we've said before, this is the very first round these two are fighting each other. Now, of course, thanks to the nature of the tournament, these two teams do have some history of having fought against each other or fought with similar play styles of other teams. So it's not as if they're going to take as long to get started here. It's more so just a case of figuring out what it is tonight that each other is bringing out.
Absolutely. And heading in, still 1 minute 40 seconds left. Neither team has had any casualties. A bit of damage to the Nomad, a bit of damage to the Frost, to its Rux. But for now, still chilling from the side of KUIS Esports. They're still deciding about how they want to approach this. They have the upside down repel outside big window. So you have that line of sight depending on how you want it. Enemy detective outside. There was a run out. Didn't result in anything, at least. Nomad, on the other hand, has lost more air, but inside it, look with this room on the bottom for on 1F, gets the default camera. That sound should give away if anyone's close by, but if he makes his way up, this could be disastrous for the side of D3. They have to account for it, and just look at Ninja Freak. He's still watching the striker. He's watching for that flank in case it happens, but time is running out for KUIS Esports. They have to make a move, and they make a move indeed, but unfortunately in the wrong direction. Moves, shoots out Sunny from outside the window. That's the IQ down, and that's the stairs locked up. Library stairs is in complete control. A couple of shots, couple of wall bangs from Cozy, not gonna connect onto anybody as of yet. Nexus even made his way back up. He has a shotgun. There has to be a repel in some time because there is only 35 seconds. The Insanity in the meantime answers back, gets the kill onto Kratos while getting another onto Ninja Freak, and in a blink of an eye, it's all changed. What is aim getting another onto Moose? But Answer comes back in next. He gets the trade on Insanity. Late one. He was the guy who got the first kill for the side of KUIS property over here. But it's a 3 versus 2. Maybe that 2 versus 2 because Cozy has been injured. Look at this. Nice adjustment from Israel. He's looking to see if anyone wants to go pick up the guy knocked outside, pick up the Nomad. For now, no one's jumped for the wave. But this time is running out. They have to make the plant soon. But as soon as Wild jumps in, Instrux is there to answer. But from the other corner comes the side of what is aim. He gets the knock, but time is not there. Time is on the side of the defenders. Attackers have ran out. And what looked pretty good changed around in the blink of an eye over here.
Calm and collected. That's the best way to describe D3 in the ending stages of that round, because it was a trade situation, right? 4v4. Insanity had just taken out, I believe it was Kratos, and it was just a case of waiting for either the breach to happen or the attackers to start collapsing into the site. And because the breach stayed closed for so very long, I think that's what caused KUIS to start panicking a little bit. Like, we need to get in there. There's no breach. We don't have line of sight. And because we don't have line of sight, we can't like take the long angles, we can't take these defenders out. So we need to force these engagements through something like piano window or the hallway, blue hallway or library hallway, right? Going into piano. So it was just a case of, because they didn't have their EMPs in place at the right time, because they didn't have their players all aware of what was actually happening, KUIS lost all the ground that they set up early on and ended up pretty much losing to themselves, some might even say, right? Once you get that breach done on second floor, it's always incredibly hard for the defenders to keep a hold of things because there's such a long line of sight created from all the way top mezzanine stairs directly through, and if you have the rotate and punch holes in the wall between bedroom and office, directly to the corner of bedroom, even a little bit of solarium. right? That's a massive line of sight. And attackers love having that because they've got the magnified sights, the ACOGs. But unfortunately, again, no breach, no line of sight, attackers, zero space to move. This time around, they've learned that lesson. They're going to get the breach done well before the 2-minute 30 mark on the clock, and that's going to start things off in a good fashion. Actually leaves KUIS with more than enough time to go for a trench breach if they do plan to do so. And I think, Manders, they might actually be doing that because they've got the Hibana coming in from the big garage as well, right?
Oh no.
But never mind, Insanity had the verticality ready, and that's going to be the Hibana down, so that's a huge damper on whatever plan. And a C4 is going to down what is aim next. Beautifully done right now. Gotta be careful of the run out. Still gets the kill. And that's now a 3v5. D3 being aggressive early on.
E3 being aggressive early on, they're denying KUIS any sort of space coming into it. Cozy's up top with the fuse, but what else can he do? They got the breach out earlier on, but once they came to fight from this side, from the side of Big Garage, they were just melted down one by one. Oh, the barricade giving way. There should be a pre-fire coming in, doesn't connect from the side of Moose, but ooh, the jiggle! Daps coming in, nasty lands from Moose over there. Wild is going to be regretting the decision he made over that side. No, Sunny has been killed by Nex otherwise. Nex has just had a complete staple on this area. This is just his area. But a wall bang coming in from Cozy gets the knock, gets another kill on the Ninja Freak, gets Ninja Freak and Moose, both of them. Double kill coming in from Fuse late in the game. AK-12, a very violent gun, but there's a couple of verticality plays that he has to lock out for. He doesn't have a lot of buddies with him. It's him in a 1 versus 3, and he's searching around in the corridor to see if anyone was choosing to flank him. But that's exactly what Kratos was, but Kratos has put a halt in it for now. But now you can even open up the hatch window. We're just going to fuse it open. You do have the hard breach later on for yourself, but that should give sound cues away to the side of Kratos. So Kratos should know exactly where Cozy is, but Cozy's using this as a distraction. He's making himself down the stairs over. He's not even going to be looking for the hatch, but the shotgun is out there. Shotgun is in close range. Next should be getting this, but no, Cozy comes out on top. An instant refag by 8 strikes. Cozy did manage a triple kill at the ending moments of the round, but unfortunately couldn't do else much with it.
Yeah, there was only so much Cozy could do as a lone Fuse in a 1v5, right? Fuse isn't necessarily the best character to 1v5 with in the first place, because while he does have a lot of explosive utility, it's a lot of like, I gotta take away my gun and put this down, I'm gonna get animation locked, and it's just one of those things where it's like, you don't really want to be Fuse, even though he's got the AK-12. He's slow, he's noisy, he's clunky. It's just a bad situation to be in regardless. But props to D3, they pretty much outplayed KUIS on all fronts going into that encounter on the basement site. And there's really not much else to it, because the C4 from Next that was out of trench door, I don't think KUIS could have really planned for that. Like, you can't really plan for that until it happens. This is one of those things, right? Or the vertical line of sight that the Jaeger was holding that stopped Insanity, who was playing the Hibana, from entering Big Garage. Normally, you just have somebody on Big Garage or maybe on the hatch, but that was not the case. D3 played an off angle, and they really took KUIS by surprise, and that's pretty much the entire round. With that said, we're moving into round number 3 with D3 on a 2-0 and pretty much on a pretty early game tear so far. They've looked relatively comfortable with a couple moments of shakiness, but otherwise they'll be happy with where they are. And meanwhile, the Mira comes out from Rux, this time on the first floor side. Interesting that they've taken a couple rounds to play the Mira, but then again, they're 2-0 up. I can't really blame them. But looks like there might be a planned rush here. Ninja Freak taking a bit of damage because, of course, he was droned out on the basement snowmobile side, and you saw how everybody bunched up towards that wall with the sledge, right? So potentially, KUIS wanted to go for a rush up these fireplace stairs and get into the site, but not to be. But, you know, the breach has still been made regardless, but it's kind of forced them to think, wait, what if there's more? We can't quite just bum rush into there. So they're spreading out and they're going for what looks like a more traditional take so far.
They are, and Wild has the blitz, mind you, the shield with the flashes there, but a lot of this has been castled up on the top side, but that's where the sledge is going to come into use. Insanity is going to have to break these open very quickly. Pretty much the counter for Castle in these situations. Cozy, interesting shotgun shot there. I'm not sure who you're going to be hitting from so far away, but we hear Wumai getting activated. That's going to pull the ears over here. But Kratos gets the kill onto Cozy, and we hear that somebody jumps into a Frostman. In the meantime, Moose gets the kill onto Wild. Moose getting another onto Sunny. A double kill coming in for the Jaeger, and yet again, KUIS' attack is getting snuffed out over here, Blackjack.
Yep, it is not looking good for KUIS at the moment. It's not even the fact that there was a mirror in play that really changed things up. It was just Moose the Jaeger playing so far offside, and now they've got a double in Kitchen. Well, Insanity does find one next off the board, and whoever was playing Kitchen Hallway has decided, you know what, I don't want any part of this. Kratos moves away, and that was a smart decision there, because if he had decided to double peek, there's always the chance that the L85 with the sledge could get that double kill, instantly turning the round into something a lot more manageable. So again, good decisions being made from D3 overall, and they've pretty much honed in on their gunfights. They look warmed up, they look strong, they look like they know what they're getting into. And that's what you like to see from a team at this level of play when it comes to Rainbow Six. With that said, Diffuser's been dropped, and you've got Jaeger still in library. They never managed to get Moose out of this top floor position. You've got a Gridlock not looking, sorry, not Gridlock, Finka not looking at that library window right now. Beeper's going to go off. That's going to give away the position here for Insanity. He's going to expend so many bullets on mezzanine stairs here, but they know where he is. And look at D3 converging around him like hungry sharks, trying to get that kill because they smell the blood in the water.
He goes on stairs.
There we go. On the stairs, he gets one. Oh, dear me. Sunny's Claymore finds another one. And we've gotten ourselves into a 1v2, but never mind. Rux comes around. He had the bard for cover, and he knew where, Insanity was going to come in from. Got the kill, got the round. D3 with another.
D3 with another seems to be the tone of the evening being set over here. KUIS, in a matter of seconds, they're trying these fast kind of entries. Even in round number 2, got the doors open up wide in garage earlier on near the snowmobile, but still could not make progress. They tried to go for the rusher on side from behind, trying to open up with that as well because they had so much time to work with, but instantly get shut on there. And then in round number 3, it's just all chaos coming in. They don't know what to do. The sledge Insanity at the ending point's trying to do a miracle kind of run, but with the pistol in the 1v2. You got a Claymore kill for Sunny later on, but it's just not enough to call the numbers that so much they can work in Insanity's favor. And in that situation, there's nothing else you can do. So that the resultant is going to be KUIS is going to be bringing in the Blackbeard in the hands of Sunny. We have seen that this is one of the agents that's either getting selected or getting banned out over here. Blackbeard.
Yeah. Okay. Blackbeard in play as the Gridlock was one to get banned. Honestly, I like the Gridlock ban, I'm going to be honest with you. It's just one of those where it's like, I don't see it enough, but it's a good ban whenever it's used. But now, with Sunny bringing in the BB, we did see Wild trying to play the Blitz a couple of rounds ago. Didn't quite work out that time, so they're going to try now the Blackbeard in this round. And of course, it's always, hit or miss with Blackbeard, right? Or with any shield. Because when you're a fully coordinated team, and KUIS is a fully coordinated team, I'm not taking that against them, but, when a fully coordinated team makes a perfect use of the Blackbeard, playing around the shield, kind of being aggressive behind them, staying doubled up, or even tripled up in some cases, yeah, it's a really hard combination to beat, especially because Blackbeard, unlike most shields in the game, is a shield with the unique gimmick of gun. Right? Or assault rifle in his case. Yes, all the shields have a gun, but all the shields have their own individual gimmicks, right? Monty's a full shield. Blitz has his flashing, phrasing. Blackbeard has his AR, and so on and so forth. I do also like the Nook pick here. I'm going to be honest with you. Insanity bringing in the Nook is also one of those things that we get to see on Chalet every now and again. Like, that operator is sneaky by design. Get away from the cameras, stay away, even the deployable cameras. You hide yourself from them, and you give yourself a really good chance of catching a couple of them off guard, just like that. Next is going to be the first one to fall.
Insanity gets the first pickup coming over here. Wild's gonna get another. Insanity's gonna get the third onto Moose. It's his double kill in this round. The early burst of as we were talking about it over there, Blackjack, he has struck fast and he has struck right in the hearts of D3. This is the answer the KUIS are looking for to gain a round. Unfortunately for Cozy, that's not the spray that he's looking for. It's Rux gets the head of Cozy in that fight. It's unfortunately for the Nomad, not going to be able to survive, but Insanity did so much in the earlier parts. And Wild was just around the corner to capitalize as well, but over here, Itrux is going to get pinched in, going to get the kill onto it. Sunny, the Thermite's going to open up the wall, so the reposition is going to be coming in for the Frost, but Insanity gets a third in the round. Nades are going to be used, get through the Ruby doors, and now the late rotation from Kratos coming back up the stairs, getting back to 2F, trying to fight it out from Solarium, but his long range angles, there's a lot of free fires coming in between. His bob and weave between the bullets to survive, and unfortunately will not. Instead, will meet the bullets of Wild Gun straightly in his chest. A nice kill, a nice execute. Insanity with 3 over here.
There we go. The first round for KUIS and a triple kill to Insanity. That was that Nook pick that I was going on about, folks. And that's why you like that pick, right? You never know where Nook is going to come in from. Even if you have Valkyrie, even if you have like 3 deployable cameras, even if you have someone dedicated sitting there on the cameras, like say Maestro, you will not see Nook coming. And that is by design. Her gadget is made to fool cameras. And Insanity used that to the best of their ability in that round. And I gotta say, I like it. Now, of course, there was also the Dokkaebi play, let's not forget, because Dokkaebi with the Black Grade coming up Library Stairs definitely had a lot of answers for the B3 defense. Now, Deadeye, well, they've decided, you know what, alright, fine. We almost lost second floor when we started round 1, and we did lose it in round 4, so let's not go back there, despite the fact that it's open. Let's go to basement. We won this one really comfortably. So let's go to basement, probably switch it up, stay on first floor for the next one if they do win, or even if they lose, right? And that's what I like about D3. They switch it up, they change it around. But you know what else is being changed around here, Madness? I'm looking at that attacker operator pick right here. Not only do we have the pretty insane pick of a Glass coming in with the smokes, of course, along with the Thermite smokes, but also the Sense. Now, that's not an operator you see too often. Sense, with those RU projectors, can throw them down, pretty much light walls, right? And I think Glass can see through them. I might be wrong about this, but if that is the case, this could be an attempted rush plant here as the breach goes off, and there we go, smokes are in, and Wild is already in there. Not Wild, excuse me. It is the Thatcher already in there, going for the plant, and Cozy's gonna get taken down. Smokes are in. Oh dear, it's completely fallen apart. Kratos gets the team kill on the moves on the other side, and Rux has fallen, but doesn't really matter because Diffuser is now stuck in the site, and it didn't work. The plant has been denied.
That's exactly where the Goyo is going to come in. Use 2 sacrifice moves in the proxy, but Kratos stops their plan. They have it in their sights, but there is a Glass waiting out the corner, so they're choosing not to pick, and very rightfully so. There are a lot of crosshairs trained, aimed at all these doorway frames. Pretty much if anyone peeks, someone is going to go down. Pre-fires are coming in from Sunny, but now he's going to be going for the rotation. So is the Glass. They know that the Diffuser is stuck there in Snowmobile, but they have to make the backward approach over here from the side of the backyard stairs. They're going to come into basement hallway, and look at this. Next is already getting inkling. There might be some action coming from the backside. He already heard the barricade coming open. The people coming getting shot. The spams are coming in, but Next reigns supreme. He takes out Sunny. And Next still thinks it's from that side of the corridor, but there's actually a bit of a cross-angle play going on between Insanity and Wild. And Next is just prone or laid down flatly on the desk over there in a nice position. He's waiting for himself. Wild's going to take a bit of a burn damage, but now will be running. Oh! Actually mix it across. He was low HP, so if Next had got the kill, that would have been no exothermic charge. And the swing comes in. The Glass is a bit too late to answer back, but Insanity finally gets the kill, but not before Next got the kill onto the Thermite, onto Wild, and now in a 2 versus 1 as a glass, it's almost going to be possible. You have smoke canisters to work with, one more to be precise, but Insanity's going for the roam. They're going to hear these footsteps, I hope so, and yeah, a bit of nods, a bit of swivels of the head to check around, and yeah, now they know very factly where this glass is coming from. The blue stairs, the sensors make noise, the barbed wire makes noise. They're not many places you can go. You're just going to eat a lot of damage, but by the time you make it over here, if only one defender stays alive, that will be enough. And you can see the re-rotation from Insanity. He really wants to come at with a play, but it's been read yet again. There's a lot of noise. Another sensor. There should be a peak coming in for Kratos. That should be the end of Insanity. It should be coming in over here, but no, Ninja Freak with the shotgun. A bit of a long range. This is why shotguns are broken in this game. That's a headshot, apparently, from ladies and gentlemen, but that's what happened over here. And D3 are not going to let KUIS try to get away with a fast one.
No, they will not. KUIS tried it. They tried the rush plant and it completely fell apart. That's why you want to get someone like a Twitch just to deal with those Goyos early on. Like, yeah, delay the rush by maybe 20 seconds, but it's better that way because guess what? They won't see it coming. I mean, they might see it coming still, but it's a Twitch drone. You never know where Twitch is coming from based on if the drone comes in from one way or the other, right? So just get the Twitch, guys. The little bit of droning, they definitely would have known that there's a Goyo from the canisters being laid around, so there was no reason not to get a Twitch there. Unfortunately, just a lapse in judgment from the side of KUIS' attack. Unfortunately, that lapse in judgment is going to cost them another round. 1-4 down. And so far, D3, they are looking, well, they're looking like they're in the driver's seat as we're now in the last round of the first half, folks, which means that going into round number 7, D3 could make this a dominating 5-1. And that would be very counterintuitive to KUIS. Although I will point this out, KUIS were the ones to pick Chalet. They brought us to this map, and now, unfortunately, they are paying for it.
Exactly, that is the factor coming in over. This is their map peak, and unfortunately, they're going to bring back the Nook. That's going to be Insanity piling yet again this operator. He's going to be trying to make that fast approach, and I'm expecting D3 to be a bit more wary this time. They do have Fenris around the corner. They do have FNATs if they want to, you know, alert the position. They have a barbed wire coming out from moves as well, but Insanity already making up progression. He's already came up near basement stairs, making his way up slowly but further. But oh, there's an alarm sensor that he walked through. The FNATs coming into play right there from the side. So they spotted out that someone's already in the building from the side of D3, and with that loud bang, Wild is also like, no, I'll head over to this side instead. Sunny with the shields going to be climbing up. So yet again, this time much slower for KUIS compared to what last round was, with pretty much the standard burst in and entry to plant, which did not work out whatsoever for them. They were left in a 3v3, and oh, Wild was trying to get a cheeky kill, but there's a deployable shield standing squarely in his face. 1 minute 47 seconds left and no casualties yet.
KUIS is taking their time with this one, and they know that they have to. Blackbeard's position now given away, and he's probably trying to throw a grenade or something, and it's going to get caught by the Jaeger ADS. That means no more grenades for the Blackbeard. He's not going to be able to flush anybody out of key positions right now. Once again, good use of utility from the side of D3, but it's this Nook that's really the contentious operator to deal with. Oh dear me, the A Selma is denied thanks to the Jaeger sitting in mezzanine, but never mind, Ninja Freak's gonna fall, and finally so, double to Cozy as the Twitch with the DMR comes up the main stairs, gets 2 for their trouble, and now another breach is coming out. Oh, Rux failing the peak. I think that's the first time Rux has been unable to get a kill off of that one, but Kratos comes around, shuts down Cozy after the triple kill from the Twitch. So 1 down from the attack side, but unfortunately so many more to go. They still haven't gotten the breach off, and I like this. Next, rotating down below, going for potential C4 play, but never mind, it's read into, and he's down, and it's all up to Kratos in the 1v4. Now he's got a Blackbeard coming his way very soon, as the FNAT will give away the position of that BB. But call was denied thanks to the mute jammer. Drone's going to see him regardless, and now they know where he is. They're going to aggress on this position because it's just one guy. Here comes the Blackbeard. Here come the bullets. and that is Kratos put down on the floor. Second floor bedroom, definitely not a great side of choice for D3. Something seems to have gone wrong with this pick for them multiple times in a row now, but it won't matter because it is now round number 7. 4-2 to D3, as KUIS certainly are not in the worst position in the world, since it is looking like a Defender Chalet night, right? As we go into the next set of bands.
Yeah, the thing that went wrong for D3 in that last round particularly was Cozy. Cozy went huge, gets a knockdown through, that punch holes that you're trying to look through, goes down, gets the gun down on the victim over there before end up going down, and in the end you can't do much if you're in a corner and there's a Blackbeard running at you. Suddenly just pulls out the gun, whips it out, gets the kill for himself. But yeah, like you're talking about Blackbeard, he's still not in the best spot. You've only managed out 2 rounds out of 6 in your attack. Your defense has to be much stronger, especially given that this is your map pick, and D3 are looking to be a bit of a menace, because I see a double shield comp coming in, a Blitz and a Blackbeard with the Dokkaebi, going to be irritating with the long range gamer, plus the calls coming in. Ninja Freak with the Flores can also break through a lot of these gadgetries that will be on the ground, but there is not much for the side of KUIS in terms of, traps. You do have the FNAFs, but that's about it from them, and maybe some Frost traps to whatever.
I mean, yeah, the Frost Traps are probably going to be the biggest counter against the shields here, right? Because of the change to vaulting at the beginning of this patch, where you can no longer aim while looking down during a vault animation. Shields will get caught more often than not in Frost Traps, and that's something that both Rux and Kratos would have to be careful of, but looks like Kratos will be switching out into the Lion, bringing in a bit more information-heavy comp, along with the Grim, who of course is allowed in play thanks to the fact that Grim has not been banned. Instead, the attackers that did get banned are Ace and Monty. I think we all know why Monty got banned, given Ninja Freak's history of being annoying with the shield. But it is Rux's turn to be annoying with the Blackbeard shield. Oh dear me, never mind. Insanity unaware of where his feet were, and gets shot in the legs for his trouble. That's the Soulless Calm really early on.
That's a really early take, and a good pick out coming in from the side of moves that he knew that this is going to play. Look for prone first, saw the foot, and then just spam through the barricade, gets that kill, and that's a Solace completely out of the pitch. Insanity, one of the top performing players on the side of KUIS Esports tonight, especially with a 9-5 scoreline. Unfortunately, will no longer be able to participate in round number 7. The first round of defense on the side of KUIS and the side of D3 are trying to make the way. Insanity's trying to protect 2F as much as he can, but this is not the site, honestly, for them. They're going to be creeping in from the side of D3. KUIS does have a very nice standard defense lined up for themselves, but they have to be hidden from the lights cameras. Cozy gets the first pick. He was getting spotted out anyway, and Itstruck still couldn't get the kill. That's the Blackbeard taken out, and that's the only shield, because D3's made the switch up later on. There's not going to be a blitz. The Blackbeard that was there is no longer there, and Sunny with a nice angle gets the kill into Kratos, but instantly traded out by Nex, who was just waiting to pounce on any opportunity provided to him. And of course, he's trying to look out the window, trying to go for more. Nex on the side, trying to get a bit of passageway with his secondary, pistol in his shoulder. But what's Aim's aim? What is Aim's aim has rung true, getting the kill onto moves. Just coming up, Library says instantly taken out. It does take quite a beating. Going for pre-fires for people who are not close by. He's just a bit jittery given his HP bar, and that's a bit given. 1 minute left to deal with, but next, nice Grim, nice Highmight, gonna get the location, going to shoo away the Frost from taking that position, but 1 minute left for the side of KUIS to do anything against D3's attack, to try and get a round back over here, Blackjack.
45 and less, and Nex and Ninja Freak caught in a little bit of a stalemate here as they try their hardest to get into this site, get something going. Unfortunately, Ninja Freak's Rotero drone will not be able to deny that mirror window, which means that that line of sight remains open for the side of KUIS' defense. Here we go. Grim's going to put out another set of Bs. That's going to give away the position of the player playing behind the bomb chassis, forcing what is Aim out of their position. That's going to be 1 down, but 15 seconds left. They have to aggress. They have to fall into the site. They know there's one in blue. Next with the triple. He's really pulling it off right now, and this could be huge as we have the push coming in onto Pantry. Oh, dear me, Wild. I'm not sure what happened right there. Should have had the drop onto the Flores, but does not. And the 2v4 is pulled out of the hat here for D3. Oh, dear me. And that, folks, is unfortunate for the side of KUIS. They nearly brought it, but the triple kill from Nex and the 2v4 between Nex and Ninja Freak is going to secure themselves a 5-2 round 8. Round 8. I have the math right. I don't know why I stuttered.
It's secured in round 7. Yeah, they're going to go into round 8 over here. But yes, a good performance coming in from the duo over there of Ningerfing, of Nex. A lot of, first round gameplay coming in. And yeah, Mira found a bit like I think should have won that fight if Wild was maybe he has the idea because he can see it to the black mirror that the swing is going to be coming in, maybe even prone, maybe change position depending on it, and then go further. I went for the 1v1. Unfortunately, did not come out on top, and now D3 is going to continue this momentum 1 point away from map point on the map that KUIS Esports itself had decided to go for. And we didn't get a double shield in the last round, but I think we're going to get it this time because Kratos has been looking to be switching up from the line to the blitz, and yes, it does get locked in, it does get secure. But I loved how Nex used the Grim gadget completely. The beams were used perfectly by him last round, Blackjack.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely correct. Next, with the Grim is very much a lesson as to why Grim gets banned as often as he does, right? Because that Frost tried so hard to occupy those key positions, and guess what? You're in blue stairs, there's a Koan Hive coming your way. You gotta get out of there before they know your location or they're gonna kill you. Then, of course, you go down and you're playing the bomb chassis of sight. Guess what? Kawan Hive coming your way. Now your position's given away. You got to get out of there. And that's exactly why the Grim gets banned so much. And wait a minute. Oh, dear me. Just a jump in from Ninja Freak. That's Sunny down. And Moose found Cozy on the other side. That's 2 down so very quickly. What happened to the side of KUIS' defense? Because I can't really even blame Sunny. You're playing that front angle. Oh no, Insanity just get shot in the head. That's your soul gone. R.I.P. Now it's all up to these last two. What is Aim and Wild? And never mind, Wild pushing a bit too far, unaware of the same line of sight they made not too long ago. What is Aim manages to get one with the Warden Shotgun, but Rux comes around, the Blackbeard getting the other kill. And it definitely looks like D3 wants to be done with this map. They've got a bus to catch as that round. That was a quickie.
Well, it looks like Nex is in. Let's get to the next map because this one seems done and dusted for the side of D3. They have been putting on a masterclass against KUIS Esports on the map pick of KUIS Esports, and that's not something that you hope to be seeing, especially this is lower round bracket 1 over here. This is you with your last life available in a tournament. Unfortunately for you, if this is how your map pick is looking, second map might not be any better given how D3 is showing up over here time and time again in these rounds. They had that 2 versus 4. I think that was enough for D3 to get enough momentum, to get that push to, just go for the finish over here. We have an Oryx pick up coming from Insanity and Thunderbird for what is Aim. So a bit of switch ups coming from the camp of KUIS Esports, and at a time where anything they can work with, they try and work with, because whatever they've done till now has not worked against D3.
It really hasn't. I think First Floor Bar is actually a good site to go back to, although I will say, because round 7 very nearly was a KUIS round, right? They were 4 versus 2 up. They honestly, by all accounts, they should have had it. But then it just was mistake after mistake, and they kept getting caught out, and Nexus Grim kept pushing them further and further back, and there was just so many things that could have gone right and did not. And at the end, well, we saw what happened. So it's a good idea to go back to this side for them, yes, because they very nearly pulled out the rabbit from the hat in that site. But well, we saw again, history says something different. So D3 definitely has their work cut out for them. They've once again gone for Blackbeard. Oh dear me, he's just gonna jump right in. Nobody's in the side of Bar to stop him, and there we go. That's the kill from Rux. Wild did manage to stop Ninja Freak, so that is 1 down, but the plan is just gonna happen completely unquestioned. Never mind, they didn't clear top floor. What does Aim and Cozy come around and find 2, find 3? That's huge right there. They did not clear second floor. They decided to go all in on trying to brute force the site.
Oh,
and
the
the
Oryx.
Oryx comes in. One of the rarest interactions in the game is seeing an Oryx able to counter the shield the way that he's meant to. And I'll tell you what, he pulled it off at the right time right there. Beautifully done from KUIS as they retake the site and force D3 to play another round, because it is 3-6 going into the final bans for map 1.
This is what we were talking about. The 1F side was looking stronger for the side of KUIS, and this is when they proved it right. The 2F not cleared by D3, as they seem to be asking for a pause here, so you're gonna have a bit of a breather, and this is gonna allow D3 to come back to the senses, think about what went wrong, because what went wrong is you're entering from one side, you are getting bamboozled by bullets from above just coming raining down on you, and you have no answer, and one by one you get mowed down. And that is not the kind of attack we have been seeing from D3 so far, and I hope it's not what's going to continue, because this hopes to be the little blip of what their attack is. And KUIS Esports definitely did very nicely, and like you're saying, a very nice interaction of the Oryx jumping into the shields. That is what he is made for. He is the counter for that, and I think now D3 are going to have to be thinking a bit more about the shields, because if KUIS is going to be bringing out these kind of tactics.
I'm definitely expecting a Blackbeard ban now from KUIS. I think that's just gotta happen. But from D3's end, I'd like to see them actually ban Mira, because I think the main thing that stopped them from being hyper aggressive in their attack round so far has been Mira, right? Like round number 8, they were a lot more aggressive, yes, but that was also a round that I think didn't really have a Mira, if my memory serves me correctly. So again, you look at the way things have gone, and yeah, D3 should either be banning the Mira, which is like the highest chance of happening, or the Fenrir, right? Because those two have been kind of the biggest issues for them. But with that said, the timer has been resumed, and there you go. Blackbeard and Mira are going to be the bans of choice. And the final bans for map number 1 have been set in stone, folks. That is it. No more chances to ban another one. And that, of course, takes us to the double-digit rounds of round 10, as we have a Denari coming in from Cozy, the side of choice being once again second floor bedroom.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
Cozy's
defused by
been having a couple of moments, even if KUIS has been behind. He has been showing that he can light the way, especially alongside the rounds of Insanity, especially with the Nook play that Insanity went for in that one round, where it just completely caught D3 versus Bird, and that was the time that KUIS started to actually get some more rounds than him. Unfortunately, have only managed to secure 3 as of yet, and will still have to be deal with another shield. It's going to be in the form of blitz in the hands of Kratos, and this time they do have the Oryx. They do have the Denari, like you pointed out, Blackjack. You do also have what's his name on the ward, and with the sunglasses can get past the flash coming into him, has a shotgun available. But the side of D3, their shooting has been impeccable when it comes to most of these gunfights. And a lot of these gunfights that they're coming out, because last round it was a bit of an iffy situation given the terms of game plan, but usually the gunfights we're seeing, the way they're progressing, D3 seem to be the better team, at least in map number 1.
Of course, that could change at the drop of a hat, right? All it would take for KUIS is 3 more rounds, and they could make us eat our words here, Madness. That's what I like about Rainbow Six Esports at this level, right? Because it is always a game that is changing. Lots of little taps happening from Ninja Freak, as yeah, there was a drone giving away the position of somebody here on Snowmobile. They're still there. But looks like the attackers are not really going to aggress upon that. Mezzanine instead is going to be a place where the Grim is trying to find something, as Insanity's position continues to be given away because of those Kawan hives. They know someone's playing up there. But look at this. Oh, dear me. I was going to say the window's being watched, but it doesn't matter. Musa next. They find the angles, and they get the double. Insanity and Cozy to fall so very early on, and now entry into library, and library itself is pretty much secured, which means they're gonna go for the breach next. They do have secondary heartbeat charges with Rux on the Grim. Shots fired, very nearly finding the castle's knees right there, but next manages to get taken down. Oh dear me, Sunny with one. They're playing blue stairs, but never mind. Blue window, piano window, whatever you want to call it. That's moves to take Sunny down. And now it's a 2v4. KUIS in a very tough spot.
A very tough spot. Need the second hard vision coming out. Wild is going to double down onto his position. Going to go into a place where he's going to have to take 2 gunfights at the same time now with a bit of reposition. But there's a guy at the door waiting for it. But it's Rux will end up going down to the hands of Wild. But in the meantime, Ninja Freak gets the kill onto what is aimed. The reload comes in for Wild. It is not enough. Ninja Freak with 2 kills in the end with the jump in. Vault and through into the piano window behind the blitz towards the end. Gets the kill. Secures a round. D3 Esports will be taking map 1 over here. Deadeye's Esports going to be getting the best of KUIS, at least for their own map pick over here, as we have to see what map 2 has in store for us.
Massive congratulations to the side of Deadeye Esports as they will take map number 1. They will overturn the map pick of KUIS, which was Chalet, and they're going to go 1-0 up. Well done to them. Big hats off, because they played this to the best of their ability, and they definitely showed us what's good in that regard. So going into map number 2, there's a lot to look forward to from them, but the pressure is also on from the side of KUIS. And of course, as the beeping indicates, folks, we're coming back to us, and of course, we're also coming back to Bullet, our analyst for this first map. And Bullet, do tell us, what did you think of this map number 1?
Well, to be honestly speaking, apart from the couple of players coming in from KUIS, coming in as Oryx that we saw on round number 9, apart from that, we did saw a really good play happening in with a full chaotic play actually in round number 5, when there was a push happening in from the side of KUIS on their attacking play on towards the main garage breach. It was more of so Deadeye having the entire control on the map. I'm not saying despite the fact that it was just about the gunfight, it was more about on the fact that whether it's for their defense, whether it's for their attacking play, they were in so much control. They were, coordinating like crazy when it comes down to the entire play. Also making sure they are placing up those drones when somebody's coming from flank. As we saw in round number 5, there was 2 flanks being done from the side of I guess the KUIS, and they were actually able to get caught out from the side of Deadeye Esports. Apart from that, I don't think, to be frankly speaking, KUIS had a very single chance of actually giving up to the face of Deadeye Esports because of the control, because of the sheer coordination, and also comes down to the fact that every other gunfight was majorly being initiated and won from the side of Deadeye Esports. So that was that, I would say, a complete, not exactly a domination, but more of like a controlled, methodical win coming up from the side of Deadeye Esports. Madness.
Oh, yeah, my bad about that. Didn't take the hint fast enough. But yeah, talking about the matchup here, Deadeye Esports, if you're coming out on top on the map where you didn't pick out, where KUIS had thought they had the confidence and you shattered that pretty much, very good scoreline coming into it. The 7-3 coming out from it, and you're dominating a lot of your gunfights. Like Below is saying, the lot initiation is starting by D3. It's them being proactive into it. It's putting the side of KUIS in a pace that they have not set, the tempo that they are not recognizing it. Unfortunately for them, they try to answer back with that fast take in the garage side, trying to enter like that. But unfortunately for them, couldn't do that, right? That's where they have to start to realize that they have to play a bit slowly. Then they tried that as well. Still did not work out. And then in the defense, it took them a long time to recognize that 1F is more on the stronger side, just because of that one loss with a bit of Wild whiffing a bit on the mirror towards the end. But other than that, I think maybe some places they could have adjusted, but this is with them backs against the wall. If they lose map 2, unfortunately, will be out of the competition over here, Blackjack.
Unfortunately so, but that is the nature of the beast, right? When you are playing in esports, when you're playing a tournament, this kind of stuff is exactly what they warn you about. When you are facing some of the best, well, there will be some nights where unfortunately maybe your performance just doesn't match up to par. And it could just be a case of experience. It could just be a case of, just having a bad night. It is what it is, right? At the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And it could also just be a case of the skill gap being too wide. But that, as they say, is our biggest teacher, right? As a certain Green Goblin once said, failure, our biggest teacher is. So, to that end, what does KUIS take away from map number 1? Well, a lot, but most importantly, that you need to start adapting faster, right? That's kind of their thing. Deadeye had a lot of the same plans and strategies across all of their rounds, right? They didn't really switch it up for 9 out of the 11 rounds. or 10 rounds, they did not make any substantial changes to their playstyle. They played it the same way, and they managed to get so many rounds, as indicated by, of course, the stat sheet in front of us. And folks, of course, as is a customary, we look for the entry killer here, and it's going to be Moose going 4-0 and 10-8 on the kill count, matching Nex at 10-7 and Insanity at 10-7 as well. 3 people on double digits, but more so 2 on the side of D3. Nex and Moose really leading the charge. Of course, Rux not too far behind at 8-6, and Kratos and Ninja Freak playing more of a support back role. But on the other side from KUIS, well, it is unfortunately a slightly sadder stat sheet for now, as Insanity tried to keep the ship afloat alongside Cozy, but What Is Aim, Sunny, and Wild were caught a little lacking, despite, again, playing a little bit more of a support position. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it is what it is. Things like this tend to happen. And, well, map 1 with that is thoroughly concluded. KUIS, we're going to be seeing what you have in store for us as for you, D3, because we're going to be getting into map number 2 very shortly. But before that, a quick break. Stay tuned.
You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the South Asia Elite Community Series for Rainbow Six Siege X here at Frag Nation in partnership with Ubisoft. I'm your host, Blackjack, once again joined by Bullet and Madness as we are back for the game between KUIS Esports and Deadeye Esports. It is a lower bracket bonanza, and well, that's a word I haven't used in a long time. But with that said, it is already map number 2, folks, and we have already had one map be taken care of. There you have it in front of your screens. D3173 on Chalet. Madness, quickly walk us through what we saw on map 1, please. Thank you.
What you saw on map 1 was a bit of D3 domination in the map that unfortunately KUIS Esports had picked up for themselves, and Clubhouse is going to be looked to be maybe a bit on the similar situation, given that this is what was selected by D3 heading into this matchup over here. But without further ado, I'll take my leave as the analyst for this, handing over back to Bullet and Blackjack to take us away.
Thank you so much, Madness. And again, coming to the discussion of, as we all know, this is going to be the Clubhouse, the map pick coming up from side of Deadeye, Blackjack. And Deadeye being on the momentum of getting a victory with a scoreline of 7-3. Now again, 7-3 scoreline, looking at the numbers, anybody can say a domination. But if you ask me honestly, it was a very controlled and methodical play coming up from side of Deadeye Esports, which the side of KUIS was not able to understand how to adapt to the entire scenarios, entire playthroughs, entire strategies coming along from the side of Deadeye Esports. Now again, it's going to be the side of Deadeye Esports on the attacking side and KUIS on defense. Yes, Clubhouse is a map where especially the basement side is very heavily defender favored, but when it comes down to the first floor, when it comes down to the top floor, it comes down on how you are exactly able to stop up the attacking play, because the third floor side, particularly the gym and the bedroom, on the server and CCTV, these are some of the sides which can be a kind of like a balanced out site for both the teams. But as we proceed down to the operator bans, Blackjack, there's going to be Monty and Mira, and of course Mira will get banned up eventually though, but it was more of like an Mira play from both sides actually that we saw in round number 5 as well, in the full chaotic gameplay on the side of main grassroots, and we did saw the KUIS doing a clutch, next doing a clutch with the side of Mira. But eventually, as the map won't favor them, it is going to be a Mira ban, and of course it will be Blackbeard as well to get banned from the side of KUIS. Azami makes sense because those Kiba barriers can be very, very tricky to take care of when it comes down, especially denying the catwalk control. So of course Deadeye will take care of Azami. But on the other side, we do see a very spicy lineup from the side of Deadeye. Look at it. It's Buck. It's getting a company with Lion. Then you have Ninja Freak on the Rotero drones. This seems like either it's going to be a huge or a very kind of like a fast-paced approach coming on to take the control of Garage, or this will be an entire team doing a reverse sweep through the logistic area. What looks to me, honestly.
Absolutely, and I will agree with you on that front. This is definitely a team comp that is slightly unusual, all things considered, but given the fact that they're switching out a major section of it, I think they expected a different site, or at least picked about what could be considered a generalist site, generalist selection of attacking operators. They now are instead choosing to go into a more specialized pick for this particular site. Now, of course, Zofia Thatcher remain alongside the Grim, but we've got the Ace coming in, and of course, the Fuse for this particular part of the map. Although Fuse is not running secondary heartbeat charges, this might be just to try and make sure that the Tubarao and his Zoto canisters are not able to do much. Wait a minute, I missed that. Insanity start things off with a little bit of a spawn peak. That is next, taken off the board. EMP comes out, there's the Zoto canister. That should freeze things in a hot second here. Never mind! The Claymore from Rux finds the fleeing wild, and that's Kaid going boom for the round. A second Claymore placed in because, hey, if it worked once, it might work again. As the first couple of kills have happened, with the breach already being taken care of at the 2-minute mark, we've got another one on this construction wall that should be taken care of relatively soon as well. The hatch into logistics has been breached as well, so lots of area being taken out by D3 pretty quickly, but we've seen this on Chalet before. We've seen area be taken, but it doesn't matter if you're gonna lose bodies like that. Cozy finds moves. That's a massive drop right there. The Jaeger's position is given away, but he's playing Sunny that is playing this pretty comfortably, as he knows that he will need to stay alive for as long as possible. You've got the usual cross in the breach. The shots are fired. Ninja Freak falls because he wasn't expecting this hard peek out of construction window. Now we're in the 2v4 area. Of course, D3 are no strangers to 2v4s. Kratos and Rux, well, they will have to pull a magical rabbit out of the hat for this one. You've got the fuse kind of going around this far part of the map towards gym bedroom, going into bathroom right about now. Shots fired again, but no! He's gonna miss Rux, and the Jaeger will still live. Kratos falls on the other side, and it's all now down to Rux, the last one standing. He manages to tag up Sunny, but you know, Sunny I don't think really cares about that because he's the only one there. He finds a beautiful headshot onto one, but there's only so much to do. 1v3 in this situation, and Rux is just in a bad spot as yeah, it's a lone Thatcher outside the breach. He's just giving his team as much time to really talk about what went wrong, what could be improved going into the second round here on Clubhouse. He's trying to make it sound like he dropped maybe, but he's gonna jump in and he's gonna get crossfired, and with that, KUIS will take round one.
A good defensive playthrough coming up from the side of KUIS, but also coming onto the fact that we saw Deadeye Esports getting a little bit overrun. We did saw them trying to push down against those secondary gadgets, and we did saw those C4s getting popped off. So, but anyways, gotta give a big W credit to the side of KUIS on how we did saw most of these guys just holding their angles in a very defensive. I would say kind of like a passive approach, not very aggressive, not very over aggressive, just making sure that they are ready when the attackers come on their reticle. But on the other side, we did saw, when we were talking about the entire operator lineup at the starting of the round number 1 blackjack, we did saw them just making sure they are getting it interchanged. The entire operator lineup was changed momentarily. We did saw Fuse coming into the mix. We did saw
attackers need to locate and
other operators coming into the mix, which kind of makes sense, when you're trying to just get more intel, get more information against the site. Okay. No, I thought for a second that was a Vulcan canister, but there's no Goyo getting picked up from the side of KUIS. But momentarily, as we talk about the side of operator lineup, we do see Ace getting interchanged with the Combined Hub Launcher, the Grim, and we do have Hibana getting taken out with the side of Thermite from Moose. Ninja Freak also dropping the side of Fuse and getting a pick on Flores, which also comes down to the fact that Flores Retro Domes have been very useful. In the last map as well, we did saw a lot of Flores pick being done from the side of Ninja Freak. But at this time, it's going to be logged in, and we do have Ash, Thatcher, Grim, alongside with Flores, and with, of course, the side of Thermite, which comes down to the fact that on a site like this, if you want to just open up the main upper part of the garage feature there, yes, it can be very useful, but I'm not really sure about how they want to approach the other logistic area, if they want to, or maybe even approach from the side of garage, because even though when you have Ash getting the company of Ninja Freak and getting the company of Grim, you definitely need Grim around the areas where the hard breach is getting open. But for momentarily, next, I guess he has somewhat information of that guy holding on the kitchen. I guess he doesn't. He did saw them. There we have it. Sonny next give his location on the process of taking out the default cam over there, and that was a really good pick from the side of Sonny, as Combined Hive Launchers will go down, and there'll be no more kind of like the assistant play given away with the location that these beehives can provide you. But for the moment now, we do have still Stunny playing on the staging area. We do have everybody on the eastern stairs in the cash room. Might we see for a second that Mute is playing on the logistic office, so deny if somebody is trying to drop down from the logistic hatch. But oh, the C4 can actually connect. Yes, I guess it will be. Oh no. Just a second.
Well, the bullets do connect though. Kratos manages to find Wild on the other side. That's one down, but never mind. The long peek comes in. Oh dear me! A Rotero kill in 2025, folks. We've got ourselves around all right. 3v3 is the situation at hand. Insanity managing to find one, only to get found by Ninja Freak instead. Shots fired from the Scorpion from Denari on the other side. He's really going for this as Cozy finds one, gets found for his trouble. But the two attackers, they have so much more to do, so much more ground to cover as they're just in construction and, of course, just outside of construction at that. Flashbang goes out. That's going to allow Thermite to force Sunny back a little bit. But you've got the long peaks potentially, as looks like logistics is going to be read into Maybe a breach charge, yes, from the Thatcher. The flashbangs go out by the bomb door as well. Shots fired. They know where the Thatcher is. Double peek comes in, and Sunny finds one. It's all up to the Thermite, who gets taken down by the SMG-11. Oh, what is aim? Well, I'll tell you what, he knows how to aim despite having an aim like that. 2 rounds now, very quickly to KUIS, and they've looked a lot more comfortable here on the map of Clubhouse than they did in Chalet for large swaths of that game, Bullet. And I'll say this much, if they had shown this amount of comfort and coordination in map number 1, maybe we'd be in overtime right now for that map. But hey, let bygones be bygones, as they say. There's no point crying over what could have been. It is 2-0 right now with KUIS in the early round lead.
Not only that, and despite the fact that even it was an overtime, I do feel that Esports, I think, was their own map, not their own map pick, it was the side of KUIS map pick, where we saw Chalet. It would have been a little bit more, coordination and the control getting turned up on the side of KUIS. It was not exactly the case. I mean, yeah, they did got 3 rounds on their side after like round number 7 or round number 8. It was the entirety of the control being delivered inside of Esports. They were swinging by, just getting inside the side, getting inside the map, swinging through it, then getting towards here and there. There was more of like KUIS not able to understand and adapt to the entire scenarios coming in from against the side of Esports. Not talking about KUIS in this map. It also comes on the fact that Sonny and Insanity are also going to give a review share to the side of Cozy as well. They are being the guys who are able to actually get some of these early picks against the side of Esports, which was not exactly the case in the previous map. So if you are actually able to get those early picks, you're able to designate the entire engagement coming from the attacking side, yes, you will be on a huge man advantage since the beginning of the round. I'm not really sure what happened to Rux. There's going to be a little bit of that damage being given to him because yeah, if this was a friendly fire, I would have been dead. I'm not really sure what happened. Anyways, as we proceed down, we do see the side of the attack and he's trying to take an entry through the kitchen area, but Moose will get the pick on Cozy. And I was just talking about it momentarily before, that Cozy and these were the lads were able to actually give them the mad advantage by taking some of these guys very early and very much early into the round at the beginning phases of the round getting initiated. But this will be time by a vice versa situation. We do have Insanity playing alongside on the team over there. If somebody hasn't drawn already, he might get another pick for his team.
Well, I'll tell you what, one more pick would certainly help the side of D3 right now. They need it as, okay, gas pipe gets burst and Wild takes a little bit of damage. Might not have seen exactly how close he was, but Insanity finds Moose. If they not thrown out kitchen, they might not have, but it doesn't matter. Next comes around, gets the trade, and that's one more down from the defense side. Well, I'll tell you what, though. That second floor play is going to be a little bit harder, or first floor play, because the Hibana was lost. Now, you have Fuse with the heartbeat charges, so it's not the end of the world, but at the same time, I'm definitely thinking that D3 would have been a lot more comfortable having Hibana with the hatches and saving Fuse for maybe, say, Church Wall or something along those lines. But you adapt, you move on, and that's exactly what Rux is going to do. Finding Wild, that is now one more off the board. It's a 2v4, and D3, they are pulling themselves back from that little rut that they found themselves in earlier with the hatches breached, and of course, room made. The drones are going to come down with 45 on the clock. There's so much time to go for this, and looks like they want to go for a push all the way into Church, as the Blitz is going to go all the way down the hallway. Never mind, FNATs are going to make him stop for just a second, but Kratos, he is more than happy to just go ham at the moment. C4 is not going to find him, but no, the team kill from Ninja Freak! You do not do this, not at this time! The Fuse cluster charge, that's a year one mistake! The drop is in from Next, he's going to go for the plant, but is enemy covering? Sunny gets taken down on the other side, that's one more, and Rux finds what is aimed. Oh, dear me. Very nearly collapsing for the bit right there. That is D3, but they managed to stabilize at just the right time, as it is now 1-2 still in KUIS's favor.
Oh, damage, destruction, and total chaos being shown from the side of Deadeye Esports in their attacking play. Yes, gotta give it to the side of KUIS. I mean, we did saw a couple of early kills going to the favor of KUIS before the ban phase, and for now it will be Fenrir, which of course was a very target ban. But there you have it, the Blizz also going down. To counter the Blizz, to swap the side of Blizz, of course you have Monty, of course you have the side of Blackbeard, of course you have the talent sheet coming in from the side of Osa, which I think can be picked up anyone getting picked up from anyone's side from the side of Deadeye Esports. But now talking about the side of what exactly went through in round number 3, we did saw 2 of the early kills happening in from the side of Chaos. Insanity was able to get 1, though I'm not really sure what Deadeye was thinking was there before. I guess they definitely did drone out the entire kitchen, but they were able to get the signaling of Vigil's ability when he goes into when you're trying to drone him through. And they were not really sure about how close he is, and that is where Vigil kind of becomes the ace guy of giving you those picks when it's absolutely necessary. And kudos to Insanity to be very stealthy, be very mindful of where you want to just hold yourself up, and that is something that is also very kind of like again comes from a very basic mistake. That kitchen door is something that you can just use up your drone for a mini second. You can definitely get an idea of that if there's going to be a Vigil, even if it's in his electrostatic state, EDD01 state, and you can definitely get an idea of where he exactly is holding at. But for now, I guess it's going to be a little bit of sorry play from Moti's lad that, hey, I'm sorry for the last round. I was not really sure if you're going to push down through the objective hallway. And that is going to be what's done and dusted for the moment, folks. We do have Thatcher, the double breacher setup. Okay, next going up with the ace ectothermal charges. And then you have the exothermal charges coming around from the side of Thermite, which might be the play up here. That one guy will take care of the hard breaches, and the other guy will open up the logistic wall if it is breached. But if you are not able to get these exothermal charges playing on the right side, we can just open up the other walls and get ourselves inside and very close to the gym area, which is exactly going to be the case though. There's already one guy making sure that they are inside these map. Insanity gets the first pick, risk goes down, and that's going to be Thatcher. Ooh. And how did he got that pick, by the way? He was not in the side. It was through the window. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, getting the Thatcher is going to be really good, but Insanity goes down, getting a little bit too excited. Cozy with another, finds Ninja Freak on the other side, as Ninja Freak decided, hey, I want to try and peek the window of CC. Unfortunately, not to be. Breach has been denied due to the fantastic coordination between your Tubarao and Kaid here, but Cozy's gonna fall next, finally shuts him down, and that's one more off the board. Looks like there's gonna be a turnaround going into construction here for D3. They realize, hey, that frontside breach, not gonna work, so let's not even bother with it, as they've opened up the cash wall, are now slowly but surely making their way in here, or at least trying to. Drone's going to see exactly where what his aim has been sitting, and that is the mute's position under fire. There we go. The pings are out. They know he's in there. They need him gone, and some shots are fired. He's playing by the bomb side, but no! Exposes his leg just a little too much. That's one off the board. Flashbangs are in, but they know they got to peek along. And when
shot!
You got to be careful of him. He wasn't wild with 2. Oh, dear me! You do not make that mistake. They didn't know where he was, but moves. What? Thankfully, manages to stabilize the ship. They did not suspect Kaid hugging the corner of the door. You had the ace getting the kill on the Jaeger inside of rafters. The long angle taken care of. He cleaned up on the mute, but unfortunately, he did not see where the Kaid was. I think it was just pure patience from Wild in that moment. He did not make a peep. He did not make a sound. Unfortunately, he could not get the 1v3. I'll tell you what, had he gotten that 1v3 clutch, my throat would have been torn to shreds, and I would be happy for it. Unfortunately, not to be. With that said, 2-2 is the scoreline. We're heading into round number 5.
We finally see the pick of Denari coming into play. I guess we did saw in the very Qualifier 2. So it was, I guess, between the match. I guess it was someone from the side of Andromeda.
Yeah, and we also saw him like in round 2 just tonight. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Apologies for the calling, but for the moment, really, I'm really excited to see how Denari is going to be again getting picked up and again being played from the side of KUIS. But I would exactly win. But for now, if this is going to be, or how some of these
Is
things
it
can
just me, or is
be.
there someone here who's not supposed to be?
Yeah.
मजा में
Yeah.
आया।
Yeah. And I guess we need to. Yeah, you go ahead and take this one. Yeah.
No. You hear that, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Just making sure. You can continue.
Yeah, for the time now, we do see a Nook getting played out alongside Ash. Okay, we might have an idea of what what they're actually trying to think of, and this is what I was trying to tell you. It's going to be a very fast enough approach if they're able to get their opportunities being done. And Sandy gets taken care of, and Sandy is going to be the guy actually in the last round as well, round number 4, round number 3, the very first guy to actually go down even after getting a big go. Nook trying to make it into the junkyard. Sony gets the big one next. Grim is gonna get taken out, and for the moment now, it is going to be the side of Rockstar making sure that he gets somebody get taken out from the Western Hallway. Who's gets to pick on Cozy? A very, very fast and very nitty affair of both of these teams able to get a few picks here and there. Oh, it's going to be the side of Sony. Taking the side of Bruce. A little bit of that cheeky play. What's going to happen? Bruce definitely has the idea. Jaeger's going to come up and do the rotation up from the garage hallway, and he's going to get taken care of him. And this time around, it's going to be the side of the career being denied upon the server's area. CCTV area. But I think that's not going to be a huge problem at the moment. And a lot of the recruitments are being deployed. The last one at the moment getting used up from the side of Ninja 3. They might have a little bit of that vertical nade in play. Not exactly a hot potato, but you get my point after that huge change was introduced back at the starting of year 9 to how the nades work in the game. It's going to be a 3v2 situation up here, folks, and we have to just wait for a while on how things are going to be getting taken care of from both the sides. Blackjack.
Absolutely. Gas pipe's going to get ruptured on the main stairs, but Wild's going to find Kratos on the other side. Looks like the drop into logistics was read into, and that's one down, but this Nook could be the difference maker. You just got to push up a little bit more, but the shots fired from the SMG-11, they know he's coming, and Rux has to be careful about this. He is just waiting in the wings. Ninja Freak falls on the other side. That's unfortunate, as it's all now down, and the 1v2 for Rux. His position was given away just a moment ago. He's kind of got the idea that, hey, there's one in logistics, but that bandit has rotated away. He's going to go for the big peek, and he's going to get found as he checks the door of bedroom. What his aim comes around and shuts him down. No clutch for you, no siree. And that, folks, is going to be second floor gym bedroom going the way of KUIS. A lot better in the end of the round, I want to say. The early rounds were very trade heavy from both sides, right? You take one body, you get one body taken away, you get one body, you get one body taken away. And I think that speaks to the positive for both of these teams here, D3 and KUIS, doing a lot of good job, good work here, I would say, in terms of matching each other almost beat for beat. And I say almost, right? D3, I will say, has looked a little bit more uncomfortable on attack here on Clubhouse than they did in Chalet, right? They were very, very comfortable in Chalet. They were almost unstoppable in some rounds. But here, not so much. It seems like the playing field has been evened out, and KUIS has certainly had the chance to really read into what their enemies have been doing. Although it does really help for KUIS that Clubhouse is a very even playing field just in general. Because, like, let's be real, who hasn't played this map, right, when it comes to playing Siege? Even if you've only just bought the game, say, like last week, you've probably played
the game.
Yeah, right. Like, you've played this map a lot if you've played the game for a long enough time. And these people, these 10 players right now on your screens, folks, they have played this game a lot more than any of us have. That's why they're there duking it out in this playoffs match. So that is why I say that this map, being so well known, being so fought on for so many years, makes it an even playing field, and that really seems to have helped KUIS here, despite the fact that D3 were the ones to pick this map, right? Similar to how Chalet was picked by KUIS, and it seemed like D3 really knew what they were doing on that map. It's the exact opposite here, that D3 knows, or D3 picked this map of Clubhouse, and KUIS really knows what they're doing here.
Yeah. Also comes down to the fact that we have seen how do I put it, a whole lot of the trade games being maybe on the right side, to be frankly speaking, from the side of KUIS in the very last round. But the momentarily, folks, we do have the basement side getting picked up from the side of KUIS, which is again a very defender favored side, if you ask me honestly. Even though when you are able to open a whole lot of line of sights vertical on the vertical play along the kitchen area, along towards the hallway area when you're trying to take control of the rotation over there. But still, to me, I feel like it's a very defender favored side. Cozy gets the pick on next, gets on Insanity. It's going to be a quick trade between these two teams yet again. That tier 1 and slaps on this TMR. Kratos! Oh! Good one up against that wall bank. There you have it. And this is what we're talking about, folks. Some of these lads from Saturday Esports are way too much experience. If you ask me, when it comes down to state of play. Toxic base getting deployed to stop the drop down from the hatch where on the stockroom area. At this same again time, we do have the Ninja going in for the fuse where it can provide a little of that diversion for the side of attackers. Trying to go for the secondary pistol play. Moose on the other hand have the SMG, will be to take down the side of Wild. We do have somebody who's trying to just get a wrong side towards the center serve. It's going to begin the side of Brooks. Formula that second smoke. He does have the information that somebody's playing alongside towards the bullet hole over there, which has been made just along towards the center serve. The first drop down takes things initiated. Moose is going in for the plant. I guess the defender have the idea. We might have the third toxic wave getting deployed. I guess he doesn't have him. Ninja will take him down. Watson gets the side of Kratos. Now it's going to be what is aim left out in a 1v3 post-plant scenario. I guess has been completely trapped out. All of these post-plant angles have been secured. The rotation, the center stair, there's one guy just holding on towards the objective door, and that's just going to be what is aim going down. There are Esports taking another attacking round to their side, and this is what I'm talking about. Basement side is something that you cannot, as a defender, cannot play so much on the vertical advantage. You just need to have actually more than actually a couple of guys doing the side extension towards the side of blue area, or maybe somebody playing on towards the garage area. But if you are able to lose your lose your man advantage very early on to the rounds, as we saw the 4v4 taking place, there was that trade happening, and then we saw the wall back on through the garage area. This is something where Deadeye Esports actually shines out more compared to what KUIS were able to do on their attacking play when we saw on the last map as well.
Absolutely. I think Deadeye has given us a lot to kind of chew on going into the second half here. And of course, it's a 3-3 equalizer, folks. I mean, it's Clubhouse. Let's be real here. We weren't really expecting anything different other than a close game. But of course, we've got the bans in the second half, the first two of each side, and it's going to be Kaid and Thermite to start us off. Interesting set there. Although I get it, each Clubhouse, Kaid gets so much utility here from those Electroclaws. That is going to be that operator banned. On the other side, you've got the Breacher duo of Thermite and Maverick taken off the board. I actually really like the Maverick ban these days, especially how quietly he can make those little holes and rotates and walls, and he can poke at your defense from relatively safe angles. It's still unsafe. It's still a two-way street, but there's the element of surprise. Again, because unless you're really you've got a quiet moment in your comms, Maverick is really hard to hear sometimes, right? So that's a good ban, all things considered. And of course, the Clash. I mean, Ninja Freak's on defense. Do you really want to let him have the Clash, given what we've seen from him before? No, you don't. And that's exactly why Ninja Freak will not be able to play the Clash, because she's banned. But that, of course, is the bans taken care of. A temporary pause taken from the teams. Looks like just to get a couple of technical things in order. Hopefully nothing major happens here, and I might just have jinxed us, but hopefully not. This is one of those times I really hope the Caster's Curse doesn't actually come back to bite us in the backside. No. But with that said, all that preamble out of the way, other than the fact that this is a really close game, I like the way KUIS has kind of taken that lesson to heart from map number 1, the same lesson that we saw, that we talked about right before map 2 started, that they needed to adapt with more frequency, with more efficiency, and they've done that. They've shown us that they can adapt. They've shown us that they can really plant their feet and refuse to budge when the push comes to shove. So that was great from them on defense. They need to continue doing that here on attack, because Clubhouse is a defender-sided map, all things considered, right? I think despite how many games have been played on it, despite the fact that, statistics might say it's really close to maybe a 50-50 split. It's a defender-sided map. 9 times out of 10, defenders are the ones to take a lead on the map of Clubhouse, and that's the main thing to keep in mind here. So with that said, here, D3 has an advantage, right? They're on defense. They just took the last round in round 6. And now as we go into it, they've got just that little bit of momentum going their way, which they with the side of KUIS has to be so very careful going into round 12.
Yeah. Which that round number 7 was. I'm not really sure if that was tactical timeout or it was somebody getting disconnected. I guess it was a technical issue, as we have to make an extended creation. I saw somebody getting disconnected, but eventually now we do see the clash ban in play. Now, we all know the tales of Ninja playing on Clash though, and of course you're gonna take her out as you soon get the opportunity to do so. Also talking about the fact that it is going to be a ban coming on for the side of Thermite as well, and Maverick, and as you elaborately told us about how Mavericks Protoss can be so very sneaky, very silent when it comes down to its users in play, especially when there are a lot of that gunfight happening. The objective side has been going to be on the side of the main door over there. I'm so sorry. Talking about the overall play over here coming on the gym and bedroom. Of course, when it comes down to the gym and bedroom objective being taken, it is a little bit attacker favored side, because for the side of defender, you have so many angles to take care of. The gym window, the bedroom hallway. If the gym hallway breach get open, then you have the inter crossfire that you need to take care of. The bedroom. There's only safe place that you have in this entire side is going to be the bathroom. Even if the inner walls of the bathroom gets opened up, you're done and dusted. So, of course, to kind of like stop the entire hard breach charges getting in way, we do see the Thermite getting banned up. But for now, it's going to be but if he's having that thought that somebody's going to push up from the exterior, exteriors of the CCTV upon from the side of bathroom, maybe that thing can work out. But at the moment, yes, we do see someone actually pushing up against the CCTV breach.
CCTV, of course, has that red hallway being covered by the deployable shield, and Ninja Freak sitting there along with the Rux, 2 players. C4 just went out from Rux, unfortunately to no avail. There goes the fuse cluster charge. That's half of Rux's health taken away just from one of those charges exploding kind of far from him. It wasn't even that close. It was through a wall, but here we go. Striker's really close at the moment, and that's why Rux is going to switch over to the shotgun. Stay safe. That's what really matters here. The deployable shield, of course, has been spotted. So they know that someone's playing red stairs, and that's the shots fired. Cozy's really low on health, but still alive. Wild takes a bit of damage as well. So it looks like D3 are trying to kind of be in your face, but also be safe at the same time. Magnet goes out as we have an EMP being thrown to counter that. But that's fine. You can throw as many EMPs as you want. How much can you get from doing that is the main question. The shots are missed, but not on Wild. That's 1, that's 2. Rux and Moose come out. They find the duo right there. Ninja Freak has been put on the floor, and that's one trade taken from Insanity. But that's only 1 for the cost of 2. Not a good trade, if you ask me, as KUIS now has to get in. They still haven't breached CCTV as the flashbang goes out, but it's not going to deter the mute. Rux is still more than happy to just be here, and the magnets are not going to stop the push from the Hibana. Sunny's going to get in safely. Rux is so low on HP, but Insanity falls on the other side. Kratos takes that kill. Time is taken away. 7 seconds remain, but oh dear me, it's a full collapse happening. It's all down to Moose, who gets 1 in the 1v2. All he's going to do is stay alive, and he's going to do exactly that. 0 seconds remain, but the Hibana cannot find the Frost, as that was unfortunately the linchpin of the round. They left it just a little too late, KUIS, and even though they really collapsed in the site, they really fell in, and D3 for a second looked like did not know what to do. Moose stayed calm, collected, clutched the 1v2 by taking 1 down and staying alive and letting the final seconds tick away.
Now, Blazer, if you look from another perspective, I think this was the entire game plan from the side of that Esports. There was only just one guy
Attackers
playing
need to
alongside the
locate and
bathroom. That
defuse
was
the bomb.
Frost. Everybody else was either playing on towards the construction. We didn't have two of the guys playing, I guess one of the guys playing on CCTV, then you had one of the guys playing at the cash store, then you had one of the guys playing on red stairs. I mean, more than 3 guys were outside the side, being kind of like not exactly very far away, but on the same floor, but still very much far away. If somebody actually decides to push through the side of the gym bedroom area or maybe open up the gym hallway, please. I'm not really sure why not exactly on how Q's not decided to open up the gym hallway wall, or maybe push through towards the main stairs, or maybe open up the logistic office hatch. I'm not really sure of what Q's was thinking when they were not able to adjust and take out the more than actually like what they wasted 50 seconds actually just getting to know the whereabouts about on how everybody from the side of Dera Esports is holding up. So I'm not really sure what Q's was thinking in the last round, but they did wasted a whole lot of time on their hand. Insanity gets the first entry frag on Kratos. Takes to take care of Insanity. Stopos is on at the moment, and the shield will get interchanged. While gets the picks on that, that's going to be a huge rush from both sides though.
Oh dear.
Just 3 guys being left out. Then Ninja Freak will actually use up his Sumika launcher to block out the entire pathway from the side of stairs, and we do have now both the streets actually going on to the second floor and changing their entire rotation approach. But for the moment, they also need to take care of the cup count traps because they did saw that Rug was playing as cup count. Oh, next one right here. He didn't have that idea. Gets the first pick. Popsy gets the second. Switched on to secondary. He knows for the fact that maybe a cat and mouse chase. He's trying to run away from the shield as soon as possible. He'll get caught up from the side of Cozy eventually and make it out to a 3v2. What is that? T? Come on. A 3v2 with Ninja Freak on Shumika's launcher and Moose with those tripwires. And that can actually do the way because nobody of these guys have the EMP. They do have the 4 fragments from Sarkozy and Finka, but they don't have those EMPs.
5 frag grenades versus a bunch of trip connectors. Who will win? Let's find out as we've got the 2v3 now for D3. Heavy roam presence from them as it may or may not have paid out. It really depends on how the end of the round is going to be viewed here for them. All they need is these last couple of kills here. I think I would say if they just get the Blackbeard, that would pretty much secure a big win for them in this final minute of the round here. Shots fired, but it's a Blackbeard. Of course, he's not going to get taken off the board because of that. There we have the follow through. Oh dear me, Ninja Freak finds one. Sunny on the other side managed to get the other one. Oh dear me, we've got the SMG. Oh no! He almost had the 1v3. The SMG, the Bearing 9, just failing him at the last minute. The DMR outpowering it. And that's going to be KUIS equalizing 4-4. Heartbreak for D3 in that moment as they very nearly had another clutch situation go their way, but it's been denied. And we have ourselves the 4-4 going into round 9. I'll tell you what, Bullet, if this keeps up, we might just have overtime on our hands. And I'm certainly a big fan of that.
Protect your bombs from being defused by
I'm not really sure. In my thoughts, I'm not really sure about the overtime, but I'm definitely sure about just playing on the side of that. But how Qs are actually able to get these big fire trades is something that they needed to do in the very first map, which was not exactly the case. And also for the side of Dera Esports, them losing these early bodies, they need to make sure that they do not give away those early man advantages to the side of Qs. But it's like, you know, Ninja Freak in the Infantic clutch and break. It's on Nex also. Rux also, Nex in the map 1 also clutching it as Mira. But it's also Rux doing a whole lot of damage in the first map. At this point of time, you know, one side making sure they get those early trades, and one side for the side of defense also making sure they don't give away those bodies like that. Now CCTV and Cash being in play, we might see someone, actually 2 of the guys trying to hold down the side of Garage, but I'm not really sure on how many defenders are right now placed on the spot right there. But for now, we do have this side of Insanity playing upon Fuse. Fuse using up a castle very late. Oh, anyways, that will be a castle barricade being done on towards the, what do you call, on towards the side of the shock area. But also talking about the fact that on how some of these, you know, runes can actually defy the entire push coming out from the side of attackers is something that you need to take care of, especially when you have Capita, especially when you have the strikers coming up with the exothermic, secondary exothermic charges, secondary heartbeat charges, not exactly exothermic, but exothermic is said to be the mechanism on how the heartbeat charges work. But for now, we do see Koji getting in a gunfight through the okay garage over here, but who actually fired onto him? I see nobody over here. Okay.
Think of the magnet as your lucky charm.
Well, whoever it might have been certainly did a good number onto that striker, and understandably so. You want to get rid of this utility carrying operator as soon as possible. That's one of the things that makes striker such a powerful pick. Because of course you get two pieces of secondary utility, and that's always so invaluable because you can be a self breacher, right, with impact EMPs and heartbeat charges, or you can have grenades and flashbangs, or you can have flashbangs and smokes, and there's the endless amount of creativity that comes with that. But right now, entry into gym has been secured. There's somebody in construction that's being a bit of a nuisance right now. Shots are fired as Cozy finds one, but Ninja Freak immediately fights back, getting that player, and there goes Insanity on the other side. 2 kills taken away, but oh dear me, next you're taking a bit of damage. You might not want to sit there. Oh my goodness, all that damage, some might say, was avoidable, but it is what it is, as we have the bandits still alive to fight another round. Well, another minute in this round, as that's all that's left on the timer. Garage, of course, there's going to be somebody sitting on the ramp, but you can't quite fight him unless you've got somebody trying to actually contest Garage Rafters. Oh, wait a minute, somebody being in logistics. That could be a bit of a turning point here. Wild's going to take a bit of damage right now on the upside down rappel because somebody's down below. Rux doing a bit of good job right there, and he's going to be on the firing block right now, but Castle Barricade is already here. He's going to hear the breach, but it's going to be denied because Mute Jammer, folks. This is why you play rounds like this. This is why you get so many different pieces of utility. That Castle Barricade is not going to waste so much time. Wild will have to go from somewhere else, and Next is going to get a free runner on the other hand. Beautiful kill there. Oh dear me, Ninja Freak getting a little bit too overexcited, but 8 seconds remain. They've got to get in here. They've got to get in here. But it's going to be denied. Next with one. Next with 2. Getting the one on the window jumping and the construction door entry. They really tried to double up on him, but it wasn't to be. 5-4. D3 back in the lead.
Bro, Next got 3 more picks after he was down to what, 30 HP? I mean, you gotta give to the aim game of the crosshair placement being so on point from some of these lads from the side of that Esports. And for the side of KUIS, I'm not really sure. Again, when you have 2 exothermic charges, then you're not able to open up the wall, then you're not able to open up the wall, then somebody decides to go down and push alongside the stock area. I mean, there was, again, a whole lot of the time mismanagement being done from the attacker's side, to be frankly speaking, at the moment. Because for the side of Data Esports, even though they were actually not the same team, which was exactly the case a few rounds before, they are losing bodies. The early man advantage, again and again, like in the defensive round, and KUIS are able to capitalize on that. But even after that, whether it's Next, whether it's Ninja Freak, whether it's Smooth, whether it's anybody, even from Russ in that same category, being able to defy the man advantage odds, being on the side of the side of KUIS, they are able to get these back-to-back quick frags onto their side. When KUIS is just leaning onto the same angle, leaning onto the same strategy, leaning onto the same basic, not the basic word, I want to call it out in that manner, but exactly on how KUIS just wanted to play it out. And then I just even to anticipate that, okay, there's going to be 2 more guys standing upon the side of the logistic area, sorry, the construction area. I'm just going to jump down from CCTV, get the crossfire in, get somebody on construction, and lean the man advantage favor onto our team. And this is something where KUIS needs to think a little bit differently. But on the same time now, we do have the same, almost the same attacker lineup, attacker operator lineup getting picked up from the side of KUIS, but D3 just 1 round away to put these on a series pointer.
1 more round and D3, they get series point. The pressure is on for KUIS right now. We've got the breaches coming out on CC side. Of course, the site being gym bedroom means you gotta get in CC quickly, as we learned a couple of rounds ago. Mute being banned makes perfect sense right now for the side of KUIS. They do not want to deal with that. Meanwhile, D3 opting for the fuse ban. I mean, one of the few operators from KUIS's attacks that have really been that utility killer. So, you know what? Fair game. Valkyrie being in play from Rux means they're gonna have... Oh, never mind. I take his name and he gets taken off the board. That's gonna be Insanity to claim that kill, and a big first kill as well. Grenades are going out to try and force that Romai off of red stairs. That's gonna be successful, but Moose finds one on the other side. Sunny goes down, but Ninja Freak, unaware of his positioning, or at least of the fact that there was somebody coming in on red stairs, gets taken out. Moose finds another. Oh dear me, this Frost is on a tear right now with 2 going their way in logistics. Nobody has contested the hat so far, and that's going to be huge. Shots fired. Cozy finds Kratos on the other side. Double for him, but we'll never mind the flank from Nets. He's come back from out of nowhere with the metal chair. That's going to be 2 down to him, and the double for the Fenrir with what is now the last one standing in a turn that they did not put on the table. As oh dear me, Nex is certainly having an excitable moment, going for a little bit of a spin in place, but can you blame him? I can feel the adrenaline, and I'm sitting here hundreds of kilometers away from that player, folks. What is aim? The last one on the board, just caught outside of the window, going down the ledge. Where do you really go from here, Thatcher? As you just got to be careful about your next decision. It's a 1v2. It's not impossible, and there you go. If Nex is going to play like that, then it certainly is very possible. Drone's going to get thrown out, but beautiful awareness right there to pop that gas canister right there from the Frost. That's going to delay what is aim a little bit, but 20 seconds is plenty of time. So moves opts to just stay back in the sight, play by the bomb chassis, but your head will be exposed. That's a bad angle for you to be in. The Thatcher's going to go across. He's going towards bathroom. It should be heard. It should be heard. And moves once again. He did it in round 7. He did it in round 10. It's the Frost stabilizing the ship for the side of D3. Folks, they are 6-4 up, and they have series point here and now.
Well, what a round, man. Gotta give to the side of KUIS as well. Even though they were actually able to take the control of the entire cache in CCTV as soon as the opportunity was given away from the side of Deadeye Esports, out of nowhere, Next comes up with a flank. I completely missed that up, to be frankly speaking. I thought for a second that was a shot coming out from side logistic where Finka was just about to pop his Finka charges in, and he was completely confirmed at the same moment. And then we had Next actually confirm both of these players were trying to take control of the construction area. But what a round from both sides. Gotta give a huge credit to the side of KUIS as they're almost getting on their grip, but slowly and steadily Deadeye Esports. Again, the same fact, man. Anybody from the side of Deadeye Esports comes on the same pointer that most of these guys have huge clutch potential. Not even about the clutch potential, because they have not seen, apart from Ninja Freak, apart from Nex, and apart from Moose being so much deliberately successful on these clutch potential, but being able to stay very calm and consistent in getting those 2v3s, 2v4s, back-to-back 2 or back-to-back 3 kills for their team. This is what sets apart the individual gameplay coming off from the side of KUIS compared to what some of these players from the side of Deadeye Esports are at right now at the moment. But again, a series pointer coming on the way. It can be the run, the end of the run for the side of KUIS if they are not able to win this particular round on their side, but also for the fact that for the past couple of rounds, there's going to be a very fast approach being done from the side of KUIS, and what it looks like the same iteration being done. Sony on the black BS Shield, they're making their way through the tunnel, and I'm not really sure how Ninja Freaks is going to respond to that. He has a Sumika launcher. We have actually some of these LMGs shots being fired from Ninja Freak, though. What is aim gets one, because it's going to get double. Moose gets the side of Sony, because he gets the onset of Mood. It's going to be a 3v3. Ninja Freak going to take care of Cozy. Be the ball being a shot. Ninja Freak taking off Insanity, possibly a third one. It's going to be just one being left out. Ninja Freak with the 4K, baby. And that is going to be the round victory, the series victory coming up from the side of Deadeye Esports. And I guess it was kind of like given away from the side of KUIS, because we did so for the past couple of rounds, being so fast, being not using so much of the drones and the action phase that you see coming out from the Flex and some of these support roles. But that is that for you folks. Deadeye Esports winning this one up with a 2-0 map score.
What a game for Deadeye Esports, and I will still say map 2 was a lot closer than that 7-4 score will probably 100%. Say in the long run. The history books will remember KUIS Esports that gave Deadeye quite the run for their money here and now in this lower bracket match. Unfortunately, because of the 0-2 loss, they will be out of the tournament, and they will
Mhm.
unfortunately have to bow out. But it is what it is, right? Hats off to them from my book, because they gave us some fantastic matches. But with that said, of course, as evidenced by the fact that we are in front of all of you once again, welcome back, folks. That is the end of match analysis, post-game show, stat breakdown, whatever you want to call it. We don't have a name for it. Actually, maybe give us one in the chat. But with that said, I'll pass it over to you, Madness. Take us through what we saw in map 2.
Okay, so map 2, you saw them going on a much slower pace compared to what game 1 was going like for the side over there, right? The Nex and boys. And Nex coming up huge time and time again with that MP7, with those multifrags, with that quadra as well. So I think he played exceptionally well. But yeah, they struggled quite a bit in the first half of this map, right? They were slowly building up rounds. But the second half, it just completely exploded, accelerated beyond proportion. And there was no answer to what was being dealt back towards them. And unfortunately for the side of losing side, they are out, right? They're out of the tournament. And unfortunately, this was their second life. They couldn't live up to it. And Dead Eye Esports will be moving on. But this is the kind of expectations I had when I had already seen Dead Eye Esports and KUIS perform during the qualifier too. This is the kind of outcome I was kind of expecting right now, just based on their current levels. And Dead Eye Esports definitely proving it, gave us a bit of a scare in their own map pick, but at the end of the day, did manage to pull it off comfortably towards with that 2-round gap going to 7-4, and closing it out nicely. And kudos for KUIS Esports, like Black was saying, at least map 2 onwards, they started to adapt better. But unfortunately for them, the speed was still not enough to match Dead Eye Esports, and they are getting knocked out.
Yeah, and also talking about the side of again, the same pointer which I'm repeating every now and then. A couple of players from the side of Dead Eye Esports have a huge potential to get these back-to-back picks, especially on, in a period of like 15-20 seconds. If they see that opportunity, if they know for a fact that, okay, two of these attackers are going to push from the same angle, they have the capability to show on that individual play, apart from that team game that you do in a game like CJX, to be frankly speaking. And this is what KUIS was something like they had like the missing piece of the puzzle from their end, especially in the map number 1 as well. Again, map number 2 was a little bit closer, but if this was exactly the case in map number 1, it could have been a different story and a different kind of end what we have seen from the side of Dead Eye Esports. But also talking about the fact that some of these heavy hitters like Nex, Ninja Freak, Moose, apart from like just being Ninja Freak and Moose, a couple of days before that, we have seen these two lads popping off like crazy. We do have a third guy being able to do the same from their end in terms of individual play, in terms of the frag numbers being dealt from the side of Dead Eye Esports. So huge kudos to Dead Eye Esports for proceeding down to the, I guess, towards the next stage of the lower bracket run. I guess they have a couple of matches before they can make their way to the upper brackets.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, they've got a few more matches to go. They've got a little bit more to do here, Dead Eye Esports, and it's certainly not going to be easy. I think we can all agree on that part as we wait for the, the stat sheets and all that, because there are 2 coming your way, folks. Of course, as those who've watched the stream will know, we're going to go through the second map first, and then the entire game as a whole. Excuse me. So as soon as we have that, we'll get a little bit more of a clearer picture on what is where for which team in this moment. More so like who got the more entry kills, who got, maybe had the more EPS and all that stuff. I'm a little stuttery today. But I will say the excitement in those few rounds really did have me thinking about overtime, because we did mention it, right? Mm-hmm. That I personally thought we could go to overtime, and it really did look like it. Like, think about it this way. Until it went to 6-4, it had been equal every single time before that, right? 2 rounds taken by KUIS, 2 rounds taken by D3. And then it was just 1 round per team after that. So trends said overtime, but D3 said otherwise. So, we love our trend breakers. We love our trend setters. So all things considered, I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in store for us. Aren't you, Madness?
I'm definitely interested to see how the stats will be looking, and I'm pretty sure that Esports will have one foot on the pedal, because they still have to compete more to reach towards grand finals through the lower bracket run. And talking about the math, that's exactly what's going to be present before us. D3 winning out in that 7-4 fashion, unfortunately against KUIS Esports, the boys from Maldives over there. But it just didn't work out for them in that point. But insanity. 4 first frags to just the 2. He was trying to do a lot in this game, as well was Cozy, right? Cozy himself coming up huge a couple of times when his team needed to, but unfortunately for the rest, they were a bit on the lacking side. But if you look at the side of D3, there are a lot of people going for the Kratos, Nex, and Moose, but moves in particular alongside Nex. Nex just went insane a couple of rounds. A couple of hop outs on the defensive rounds where he just runs out the window sill, vaults out, gets a kill, vaults back in, like nothing ever happened. Then just 720s on 128s on the same spot, then trying to get a peek through. He was just having fun, honestly, towards the end of the map over here.
Yeah, also talking about the fact that KUIS was able to show a really good adaptation game in the second map. Very late towards the second map, to be frankly speaking. Yes, it was like kind of like one round to each. Even the trade games were looking so on point from both the sides. But look at some of these first picks also, and also overall the cost percentage, 80% coming in from the side of Next, Rux on 80% as well. Towards close of it, yes, that's going to be 3 guys coming out from the side of KUIS, Cozy, Insanity, and what is his name? Insanity, I guess, kind of like lack the kind of like how do I put it, the star play that he is, to be precise. He was actually the guy who was giving away his manpower advantage or just losing on the gunfights very early, especially in their defensive rounds. So at the moment, yes, it's going to be the 2-0 win streak coming out from the side of Dead Esports, and I guess they will be facing in their next matchup either the side of Hasib Warriors or either it is going to be the side of Ru, because they're gonna battle out on Sunday between, again, Hasib Warriors facing up the side of Ru at the at Sunday's matchup, and which is going to be the side of upper bracket semi-finale, and whoever loses out is gonna battle against the side of Dead Esports in the next lower bracket quarter finale.
Absolutely. And then speaking about this progressive, unfortunately, this is all we're going to be seeing from KUIS Esports for their time over. They battled up pretty nicely in Qualifier to make them work with the players, but unfortunately will be getting knocked out in the first round of the lower bracket. But they don't go home empty-handed, ladies and gentlemen. They do walk away with 10k INR as well, which will be splitting amongst themselves, and with valuable experience in the day of how it worked out. But then taking a look at how the brackets will be progressing, all eyes will be on that upper bracket semi-final as well as the lower bracket quarterfinal, in which Dead Esports find themselves. They have to see which opponents they will be facing, and that's why all eyes will be there. Hasib Warriors look to continue their domination, as well as Team Wu. Do you have any favorites heading out over here, Blackjack, about this tournament?
I guess we're not able to hear Blackjack momentarily, so I'm just gonna take over with that question. But I guess he's back. There you go.
Yeah, no, that one's on me. I forgot I muted myself again. I gotta stop doing that. But with that said, to answer your question, Madness, it is such a difficult question to say who would be my favorite, because I love almost all of these teams, and the match tomorrow is such a doozy of a game at that too. It's Hasib Warriors versus Ru, two top teams pretty much, because they got through round 1 unscathed. They got through their qualifiers pretty much very in good positions as well, in good standing. So the fact that we have what is essentially a clash of champions tomorrow, it's going to be quite the game to cast over, I'll tell you what. And who knows, maybe I'll finally get to do the overtime shout when overtime actually happens on a map that I'm actually casting on. But, jokes aside, I gotta say, I might actually be rooting for Team Ru on this one. Again, I love an underdog story, and Team Ru certainly feels like the underdogs against a titan like Hasib Warriors. But, it is what it is. Hasib Warriors could win through. Maybe the expected result could happen, or Team Ru could give us an absolutely massive game. But with that said, folks, that's going to be it here tonight for the lower bracket playoffs match that we just saw, with D3 taking it 2-0 in their favor. I've been your host, Blackjack. Joining me has been Bullet and Madness, as we have been your caster analyst trio, and we will be back once again tomorrow for the South Asia Elite Community Series for Rainbow Six Siege X here at Frag Nation in partnership with Ubisoft. Until then, stay tuned and good night.
You made a bad bet. Play the odds and risk it all. But you're playing my game now. And I'm here to clean house.